Hello and welcome to our top 15 most anticipated games of 2023. We can't wait to see what the new year has in store for us in terms of exciting new releases. From action-packed RPGs to intense first-person shooters, there's something for everyone on this list. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see which games made the cut. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your friends. Let's get started. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is an upcoming action-adventure game developed and published by Nintendo. It is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, 2017, and is scheduled for release on the Nintendo Switch on May 12, 2023. Final Fantasy XVI. Final Fantasy XVI is a video game being developed by Square Enix. It is the 16th main installment in the Final Fantasy series and is set to release in 2023 exclusively on the PlayStation 5. The game will have an action-based combat system, open environments, and will include recurring elements such as chocobos and summoned monsters called icons. The story takes place in the world of Valisthea, which is divided into 6 nations that wield power through magical crystals and humans known as dominants who act as hosts for each nation's icon. A disease called the Blight starts spreading across the land, leading to tensions between the nations. The main character, Clive Rosefield, seeks revenge after his kingdom is destroyed by the Dark Icon Ifrit. Starfield. Starfield is a video game developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. It was announced at Bethesda's E3 press conference in 2018 and is set to release in 2023 for Windows and Xbox Series X/S. This is the first new intellectual property developed by Bethesda in over 25 years and is set in a space-themed world. It is an action role-playing game. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is an action role-playing game set in the Wizarding World universe based on the Harry Potter series and Fantastic Beasts. It is set to release in 2023 for Windows, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. In the game, players can attend classes at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and explore locations such as Diagon Alley, Hogsmeade, and the Forbidden Forest. Players can customize their character's appearance, gender, and house, as well as their voice, body type, and accessories. They can also access and upgrade spells, talents, and abilities through level progression. The game features environmental customization and allows players to modify the Room of Requirement as they progress through the game. House points will be included in the game's plot but will not be influenced by player actions. Star Wars Jedi: Survivor. Star Wars Jedi: Survivor is an action-adventure game being developed by Respawn Entertainment and published by Electronic Arts. It is a sequel to Star Wars Jedi: Fallen Order and is set to release on PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series X/S on March 17, 2023. The game will maintain many gameplay elements from its predecessor and introduce new elements, including 5 lightsaber stances that the player can use in combat. These include the single blade, double blade, dual wield single blade, and a heavy crossguard style inspired by Kylo Ren. The game will also include a force stasis ability that allows the player to freeze enemies and blaster bolts in midair. Game director Stig Asmussen stated that the different lightsaber stances are designed to be used against specific types of enemies, encouraging players to choose the best weapon for the situation. Street Fighter VI: Street Fighter VI is an upcoming fighting game developed by Capcom. It will be released on June 2, 2023 for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series X/S, and an arcade version exclusive to Japan will be released by Taito. The game features 3 game modes: Fighting Ground, World Tour, and Battle Hub. Fighting Ground includes local and online multiplayer, training, and arcade modes, while World Tour is a single-player story mode with action-adventure gameplay and customizable player avatars exploring 3D environments. Battle Hub acts as an online lobby. The main fighting gameplay is based around the drive gauge, which can be used for 5 different techniques and encourages player creativity. The game features 2 control types and allows players to use multiple super combos, but each character only has 3 super combos based on their level gauge. Diablo IV. Diablo IV is an action role-playing game developed and published by Blizzard Entertainment. It is the 4th main installment in the Diablo series and was announced on November 1, 2019 at BlizzCon 2019. The game is set to release on June 6, 2023 and will feature replayable, procedurally generated dungeons, loot-focused character building, an open world, and player versus player, PvP, interactions. There will be 5 playable classes in the game: Barbarian, Sorceress, Druid, Rogue, and Necromancer. Players will guide their character through quests and combat in the world of Sanctuary as Lilith, a character who was once banished, returns to cause destruction. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League is an action-adventure game being developed by Rocksteady Studios and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. It is the fifth main installment in the Batman Arkham series, taking place after the events of Batman Arkham Knight. The game will feature the Suicide Squad, a team of supercriminals assembled by Amanda Waller as they are sent to Metropolis to stop the alien invader Brainiac and save the brainwashed members of the Justice League. Batman will appear in the game, voiced by Kevin Conroy in his final performance as the character. The game is set to release on May 26, 2023 for Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X/S. Forspoken. Forspoken is an action role-playing game developed by Luminous Productions and published by Square Enix. It will be released on January 24, 2023 for PlayStation 5 and Windows. The gameplay will focus on terrain traversal speed and fluidity, and the game is described as a narrative-driven adventure. The player character, Fry, has access to magic spells and can earn experience points after combat encounters. The player can also upgrade Frey's cloak, craft new items, and rest at safe locations to restore health. While exploring the game world, the player may encounter break storms, which are scenarios in which waves of demonic creatures attack Fry and end with the appearance of a boss character. Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is a survival horror game being developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by Epic Games Publishing. It is a sequel to Alan Wake, which was released in 2010 and is set to be released in 2023 for PlayStation 5, Microsoft Windows, and Xbox Series X/S. The game will continue to star Alan Wake as the protagonist and will explore the stories of supporting characters such as Barry Wheeler and Sheriff Sarah Breaker. It will feature new enemies and gameplay mechanics, including the ability to rewrite reality. The game will be a direct continuation of the narrative of the original Alan Wake, and many of the ideas for Alan Wake 2 were implemented in the follow-up game, American Nightmare. Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is a third-person shooter survival horror game developed and published by Capcom. It was released in 2005 for the GameCube and was later ported to various other platforms. The game follows you. Government agent Leon S. Kennedy as he travels to rural Spain to rescue the U.S. President's daughter Ashley Graham, who has been kidnapped by a cult. Along the way, Leon fights against hordes of villagers infected by a mind-controlling parasite and reunites with spy Ada Wong. Resident Evil 4 received widespread acclaim for its story, gameplay, graphics, voice acting, and characters, and is considered one of the best video games of all time. A sequel, Resident Evil 5, was released in 2009, and a remake of Resident Evil 4 is set to be released in 2023 for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, and Windows. Redfall. Redfall is an upcoming first-person shooter video game developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. Players can choose among 4 unique characters, each with their own abilities, to fight against vampires and human enemies in the open-world game set in the fictional town of Redfall, Massachusetts. The game will feature both single-player and cooperative multiplayer modes and is scheduled for release on Windows and Xbox Series X/S in the first half of 2023. It was announced in June 2021 and was initially set to release in 2022, but was later delayed to 2023. The game is being developed by Arcane Studios Austin and will focus on world-building and innovative gameplay mechanics. Fire Emblem Engage. Fire Emblem Engage is an upcoming tactical role-playing game for the Nintendo Switch, developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo. It is set to be released on January 20, 2023. The game features the return of previous protagonists from the series, summoned using emblem rings, and is set on the continent of Elyos. Players will join forces with the divine dragon Aelier to defeat the Fell Dragon by collecting emblem rings scattered across Elyos. The game will feature similar gameplay to previous entries in the series, with the addition of the emblem rings mechanic. Mika Picasso is responsible for the character design and artwork for the game. Wo Long, Fallen Dynasty. Wo Long, Fallen Dynasty is an upcoming action RPG developed by Team Ninja and published by Koei Tecmo. It is set to release on March 3, 2023 on multiple platforms. In the game, players can create their own avatar and choose one of 5 phases to play as. Combat involves deflecting attacks with melee weapons and using special moves or elemental spells, called spirit attacks once the spirit gauge is filled. The game features linear gameplay and has a cooperative multiplayer mode. Players can also choose one of 5 divine beasts to assist them in combat or provide passive perks. Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2 is an action role-playing game set in a post-apocalyptic, zombie-infested world. The game takes place a couple of months after the events of the first 2 games in the series and is set in the cities of Los Angeles and San Francisco, which have been quarantined due to a zombie outbreak. Players will be able to explore the open world, fighting against hordes of the undead and using a variety of weapons and special abilities to survive. Dead Island 2 will also feature the rage and crafting systems from the previous games, allowing players to unleash powerful attacks and create custom weapons to use in combat. The game is set to be released on April 28, 2023, for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X/S.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot to me and helps me create even more content for you to enjoy. Thanks again for watching.